It is time for your 2022 guide to all the parks. Today, we're at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Let's get in there and see all the things you should be paying attention to when you try and figure out where you're going to put the Animal Kingdom visit that you're doing on your vacation into your schedule. What should you be doing? What's closed? What should you be eating? Anything else we could find along the way. Come on along on Tommy TV. So I'm on these park guides so early this year that they still have the Christmas decorations up. My gosh, Tommy TV is on it. Let's get in there and see what we need to do. Animal Kingdom. You know it, you love it. It is the largest in acreage amusement park in the world. Let's go check it out. So there are many ways, well, there are two main ways to go around this park. You could go up through the forest here and make a left or a right. It's basically a circle. If you're unfamiliar, there's some maps at the entrance and you can go right ahead and grab yourself one. Let's go on back to our first attraction and see what's going on with it. One of the super cool things to see if you can catch her is kind of the I don't even know what to call her, but she's beautiful. And if you can catch her, she's here some days, but other times not. She's kind of like, has sloth-like movements, and it's just so cool. So keep a sharp eye out, because at Animal Kingdom, you never know. First stop gotta be the iconic Tree of Life. Come on now, don't be like that. Do the family photo. It is super duper cool. Don't forget to walk around the base and look up, because the carvings are just beautiful and it is a must do. Take the family photo. So before I take you to some of the attractions, I'm just passing by Flame Tree Barbecue, one of my absolutes. If you don't eat at Flame Tree Barbecue, you did not come to Animal Kingdom. It's expensive just like anything else, but you get decent amount of food here and it's absolutely well worth it. A must do. So, the Boneyard is open inside of Dinoland. So if you come over to Dinoland, you're gonna find that Dinoland has some issues. There might be a ride and some games. But let me take you through here real quick. You've got that thing's operating. Chester and Hester's Dinorama. And besides that, folks, outside of some games, some English, that's what we're speaking today. Oh yeah, pin trading. There's a big old stinking fence around Dinoland. So Do I recommend coming into Dinoland? Well, if you got little kids and you want to ride that deal, I would say yes. If you want to park your stroller, I would say yes. And if you want to look at light blue-green fencing and have nothing to do, I would say yes. Dinoland, kind of a bust. This is a must not do. Okay, if you decide not to go into Dinoland and take a right, you run into the iconic ride, Dinosaur. So, what does Tom ATV think of Dinosaur? It's an old ride. It's a big ride. It's a cool ride. It's a slow ride. Slow ride. And it is a dark ride. And right now it's a down ride, which usually doesn't happen. I should say, rides go down all the time, but this one I haven't seen it down in some time. Well, there goes some people. Is it a must-do? Here's what's going on right now. Let me turn this thing around and tell you. So look, right now at Animal Kingdom, we're going to get to it in a minute, but Expedition Everest is down, and it is winter time right here. You know, it's just into January, but there is a water ride that's open. And a lot of people probably aren't going to go on that, because on that one you get absolutely soaked. So you have a unique opportunity with Expedition Everest down. You could go on a lot of things maybe you might skip because you're in line for an hour and a half to 2 hours to get on Expedition Everest, right? So it's a unique opportunity at Animal Kingdom this year that you're probably going to end up doing a lot of things maybe you might have skipped to get to the big rides to ride. Should you ride Dinosaur? It's a good ride. I think you can do everything in this park in probably a little more than half a day. So you should probably ride it all, because without Expedition Everest, and maybe if you skip that water ride, it might be the biggest park in theme parks, but in many ways it has the least amount to do. So that's our 2 cents. That's maybe where this thing fits in. Okay, we've made it to the water surrounded bleachers where they show the brand new KiteTails show. What they have here is multiple times throughout the day, and they're posted just outside. You can see 2 shows. One's based on The Lion King and the other is on Jungle Book. And what it is they have water skis that go out there and pull some kites around that fly around. One of the funny things that happen, people typically cheer for the kites to fall in the water and for there to be a mistake, which isn't really, I think, how it was intended to do. So, is this a must-see? I don't think so. If you're passing by it and you want to glance at it from outside and think it's pretty cool, I think it's probably worth just standing there, maybe taking a few pictures. But to plan your day around, I don't think so. So this would be probably kind of a miss. You will probably walk through and see all you need to see during the day, and that's going to be good enough. Back in this corner of the park, where Expedition Everest is, it's kind of a little dead right now. Stopping real quick at the Theater in the Wild, where the Finding Nemo the musical usually shows. They're shut down. They're redoing this to have still a kind of a Nemo theme, but it's going to be featuring Dory when they bring it on back. So it'll be fun to see what they do with it. And that's what's going on with this. That's why it's closed. Okay, we have made it to Expedition Everest, a iconic ride. Here's some of the gang I was just talking to get the skinny. We're 4 months down on this thing, and it's too bad. It has been in Rhonda May and I's top 5 rides forever, since the first time we went on it. Now the gift shop is still open, and so at least you can go in there if you're a big fan, and I know there's a lot of you. It's just strange to be back here and not hear people screaming coming out of there. That is so strange. It's so quiet. You could take a little nap over here, but it's really it's a bummer. So what does this mean, and why am I doing the 2022 updates? Because if you absolutely have to get on Expedition Everest, then you need to do that after April. You need to, so your January, February, March, April, it's a 4-month refurbishment. I asked the gang and they were very nice to answer. Are they going to fix Disco Yeti and get that thing to work? The straight answer, and I don't think this is official, but the answer is they're not. I think Disco Yeti's going down. I think Yeti is going to be a television screen, and they're going digital on the Yeti at the end of the ride. So that's interesting. That's breaking news. Don't know if you heard that, but if you have to ride Expedition Everest, then you have to make your Disney trip this year in May or after, and then you can catch it. So if you didn't watch my Park 2022 Planner for Animal Kingdom, and you fully intended on riding Expedition Everest and you're totally bummed, luckily right next door are painkillers for you being bummed. Show up at the Thirsty River Bar. Okay, we're up to Cali River Rapids, a whitewater adventure. Only a 10-minute wait because it's January. Way back there you can see some of the round craft going by. I will warn you, you're gonna get not just wet, you're gonna get very wet. So be ready. Is this a must-do? Yeah, in July and August. The rest of the time, you're gonna need to decide that. Okay, now there's a jungle trek, and this is something that you would ordinarily skip because you're trying to get to all the rides, and some of them are closed, some of the shows are closed. An ideal time to take a lap right through the old Royal Forest and see what it has to offer. You will not be disappointed. Get through there, please. It is a good thing to do. Not a must-do, but it's a good thing to do. Gotta show you this. Now this is not a must-do, but it's a good to do, because if you want to sit down quality meal, and like most things at Disney, a sit-down quality meal is very expensive. You would go to the Yak and Yeti. I highly recommend it. Been here many times. It's air conditioned, it's fine food, and they have booze, which is yumminess. So Yak and Yeti. Now, it doesn't have that romantic a name with the word yak in there. Not exactly. I don't know how that was up on the board and they decided, yeah, Yak and Yeti, that's what we'll go with. But that's what it's called. And I Highly recommend it if you have the time to sit down and have a nice meal. So we arrived at the theater for the Feathered Friends in Flight show. It's a show. If you have the time, you should do it. It's definitely a good thing to do. It is definitely not a must-do, unless you are such an animal lover and maybe your favorite animals are birds and there are other animals than just birds. Then it might be a must-do for you, but it's definitely good to do. Seen it many times, absolutely funny, worth it, very cool. I don't know how they get these animals to do these things, and it's just, it's quite a thing, quite a show. So very good thing to do. Try it if you can. Okay, we're up to Rafiki's Planet Watch. You're going to get on here, you're going to do a train ride. And it is another one of these good things to do. But if you're in a pinch, you could probably skip this one. Do it if you got time. Definitely good, nothing bad to say. But this would be one you'd want to skip if you're pinched. Okay, we're up to our second 10++. The first was Expedition Everest. The second you just absolutely have to do is Kilimanjaro Safaris. Make sure you do it, because if you do not do Kilimanjaro Safaris, then you have not been to Animal Kingdom. It has to be done. Now here's a hot tip. Make sure you come first thing in the morning or the last thing before you go home, because the cooler it is, the more activity there is on the animals that you will see. This ride is different absolutely every time you go on it, so you couldn't go on it enough. Highly recommend it. If you don't go on this, it's like going to upstate New York and you didn't look at Niagara Falls. Come on, people. Okay, we're up to It's Tough to Be a Bug. Generally not a super duper wait, and certainly in the winter. This is a good one to do. And I'm hedging, because if you've got little kids, then it's a must do. When this thing came out, it was state-of-the-art creepiness, a creepy crawler bug-eyed adventure. That's all I'm going to say. And the littler your kids are, the more this is a must-do. So across and just up from Pete Safari is the Tree of Life Gardens. And this is where you walk through, and there's lots of things to see in there. There's some animals in there. But that's where you walk through to get really close to the Tree of Life and see all the carvings and everything. This is really good to do if you have the time. Maybe not a must-do. But you will definitely not forget looking up at the tree if you go down through there and look up at it and see all those carvings. You know what? I changed my. This might be a must-do. This might be a must-do, gang. Okay, we are up to the Festival of the Lion King in the Harambe Theater. Another one that is good to do, and if you have any kids with you whatsoever, this is an absolute must do. This is a 10 plus with little kids, and seen it a number of times. It is quite a show. I don't know how many people it takes to put that thing on, but my goodness, very worthy of your time. Very worthy. Remember, at all times, keep your eye out. Look up in the trees. Look down in the water. It's Animal Kingdom. You never know. So what can you say about Pandora? There's 2 rides here. Navi River Journey is one. Generally has a pretty good wait. It does have a lightning lane. If you are not staying till nighttime, this becomes a must-do, because the cool fluorescence in there, and certainly the iconic animatronic at the end, is well worth it. If you are staying to nighttime and you're going to walk through Pandora at night, this is good to do, but you could almost skip it, because all of this, except the animatronic and some screens, is out here. So you could almost skip it, in my opinion. If you disagree, leave a note and tell me I'm completely out of my mind, which is a distinct possibility. Okay, behind me, Avatar Flight of Passage. If you don't go on this, it's another one, 10 plus plus. You have to go on it. If you, this would be one, because some other rides are closed and this is going to be slammed, that if you have to buy the lightning lane for it, you should probably do that. You can't miss this. If you don't go on this, you are not at Animal Kingdom. So I've said that a bunch, but there are some things you cannot miss. This is one of them. So it's incredible what happens in here. I did a full POV video on it. You can see it. Just look back on Tom A TV and you'll find it there. But that would spoil it. So maybe watch that later just to remind you how much fun you had. Must do, 10 plus. Okay, right across from the Flight of Passage gift shop and Flight of Passage is the Satu'li Canteen. Great place to eat, and I highly recommend it. This is the other must do on eating in the park. And the reason you must do this is because at some point you got to have one of my favorite things at the parks. So I'm going to see if I can do a mobile order for that food item and show you what that is. Okay, so here's what all the hubbub is about. These are Satu'li Canteen cheeseburger pods. It doesn't have how much I paid on there. I can't remember. But they look alien. They come with some slaw and some chips. And in there is kind of a cheeseburger hamburger thing. And the bread is kind of this alien pod. And I know I'm a little older than kid age. But these things are not only delicious, but in my opinion, Satu'li Canteen, I don't think you can get a bad meal here. Everything is yummy, and the decor is super cool. So let me give you a quick spin. Hopefully you can see some of that. great place to eat. Just a reminder, make sure you download the Disney app and you're ready to go on mobile order with the card on file, because mobile order is going to change your life. It is the only way to get food here in a quick and efficient manner. So mobile order all the way. This is a must try. Okay, so I finished up the old cheeseburger pods, and they're yummy as usual. And I'm thinking through Animal Kingdom, and I believe I got it all. So this is often what I do, so I can make sure that when I give you an update, I didn't forget anything. There are more things to do here than I showed you on camera. And, you know, I guess the bright side of having some of these rides closed is the fact that you can do some of these things that you might normally skip. And I know I said that a few times now, but Animal Kingdom's a great one. So in these series of videos where I review the parks in 2022, or any year that I do it, so you can watch this video and know the night before you go in there what you're in for, okay? And you know what time of year to come. For instance, if you have to ride Expedition Everest, don't come before April. You're not going to get on. Or any of the other things that were closed down that we talked about along the way. So that's the update on Animal Kingdom. I hope you enjoyed it. All the other parks are coming, including Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. If you enjoyed and you thought this had some value for you, please subscribe, like the video, and hit the bell notification so you know when I upload the rest for this series in the year 2022. If there's a major updated Animal Kingdom along the way this year, I will absolutely update this video. This video will be in a playlist on the channel that will have a title something like Getting Ready for 2022, What to Know Before You Go to the Parks. And every park will be in that playlist. So you could sit down and watch them all on Disney if you wanted to, and you'd have the way to go. So that's it. That's it. Great to see you. 2022 is underway. Where else would you rather be than getting all the park updates on Tom ATV?